Well, my mom, she didn't really be involved in my life. She was really addicted to different types of hardcore drugs. So I grew up a lot without a mother figure until a certain age where my new mom, she really helped me out a lot. And that's a struggle, especially growing up as a kid, because I have my dad. My dad's my mom and my dad up until 13, and it's real hard to get into it. But there's things where I'm like, I can't believe I'm a kid and I've seen things I've seen. And drugs are just, I refuse to take it, I refuse to be around it because it just impacted my life so much. And getting older, kids, they get the chances to experience drugs and people trying new things and everything like that. And unfortunately, I grew up with some of my friends, you know what I mean? And their older siblings weren't the good kids. They weren't really people that I should be associating with, but just because I grew up with my friends, that's their siblings, that's their uncles, that's their brothers, So I had a very close friend of mine. He was tripped out one day, and when I'm telling you, it's like a movie effect, like it replays in my mind a lot. It's I was having trouble at home, so I was always over at my friend's house, and my friend is a known gang member, and he would experiment with drugs, PCP, hardcore stuff. As he's only 17. And I'm 15 years old, and I've never gotten to that point to where my friend has told me he loved me. First time, and I remember it. It was 7 o'clock. We were watching a movie like every other day, and I walk out of his house, and he says, "I love you." He's like, "Man, be safe. I love you." And I'm looking at him like, "You mean you love me, man? Like, all right, I love you too, man, but relax." And I go to school the next morning, and his little brother is not at school. I'm saying, "Where's he at?" And he said that he's at the hospital, and I'm like, "Why is he at the hospital? I was just at his house yesterday." So his brother, he was tweaked out on some new stuff he was trying, and he went over to the park like we've done a million times, and his uncle was with him, hanging out, and my friend goes, all my friends are over there just hanging out, and I know when he left, he was a little, he's a little tweaked out, a little messed up, and he's not in the right plate of mind, he was high. So he ended up getting stabbed by a rival member through his abdomen right here, and he got stabbed across his arm. And that was hard for me to hear, especially, I wasn't close with this particular friend. I knew him through association, but I never had like heart-to-heart conversations like I had with my friend. He's the one that told me, "Look, you gotta play ball. You gotta, go do something with your life. Don't be here in El Cajon 24/7, get out, learn how people live." So for me to know that he was almost killed and he ran home when he was stabbed, that's the first thing he said, "I just want to go home." And hearing that, it hurt. It really hurt. And but I know if he wasn't, just he could have fought back just for that split second, and it would have saved his life. As well as my friend, his name was Kyle. He died. He was 19. He had 2 kids. So that sucks. But my friend, who is still alive, he's not the same kid no more. And sadly, he turned to things because he can't live with that night either. And that's affected my life a lot. And that's why I refuse to try anything. It's really scary because you can't defend yourself. And sometimes the world's a scary place. You have to defend yourself.
When you look at our school, our community, we're one of the lowest income schools in the entire county. But that's not something that stopped Mario. It's, and this is not the only recognition he's gotten for just, his academics especially. I mean, he pushes himself in the classroom. And again, like, there's a lot of kids out there who get discouraged by their situation, but he's a kid who's like, no, I see opportunity and I'm gonna hold on to it and I'm gonna pursue it. And despite, again, what he's lived around, whether it's people that get involved with gang life, and he loves those guys. Loves on those guys, but he keeps himself distant from that, and because he wants to surround himself with positive people and people that are going to take him in the direction he wants to go to get to his dreams.
Man, sports has just been not an excuse, but my option to get away. Sports is everything for me. I'm not the biggest, I'm not the strongest, but if you talk to my coach, hopefully he says this about me, but I do work hard because it means a lot to me. It's everything I have, Sports has always been there through family struggle, through friend struggle, through just regular teenage. I got acne struggle. It's just, that's something that I'm always gonna fall back on if I continue to play college or whatever I play, that's something I can do to release whatever I have.
There's some people that, you look at them and they're like, oh wow, you can do all these things, but on the inside, what are you really about? And he's a real person, he's got real true roots. He believes in our school and everything is about. He's, if you ask people in the community outside of the school, they know Mario just because he's a kid who he loves on other people, and he kind of takes on almost like a fathership role amongst the guys and takes care of them. So, he kind of fills a lot of different roles, within the team and the school itself. He's always got a positive outlook, and I think that's something that's really just infectious, and that people really see that he always hangs on to hope. He's always a kid that's not going to look at kind of the negative side of things. He's always going to say, no, we got a chance. No, we're going to work for this because there's always an opportunity for us to succeed.
I don't know what my plan is, what my path is yet, and I want to go to college because I want to be a kid. I didn't have many kid instances. I had to go through a lot of stuff. So I want to enjoy my youth while I can and just be a kid, go to college, play 4 more years of football, enjoy my friends, but not enjoy my friends where they're smoking weed or they're smoking PCP or they're smoking this hard stuff, taking Xanax. Like, I want to enjoy my friends that are actually kids who are going through what I'm going through, kid stuff.
And throughout the season of like, hey, what are your next level pursuits? Like, what do you want to do? And as a football coach, I'm always asking guys, hey, do you want to play in college? Do you want to play football? Because it's a long journey. You don't just all of a sudden senior year say, oh, I want to play, and there's a lot goes into it. I speak to freshmen and sophomores about that process so that they're not in a position where it's too late. And he was already academically strong, and he was a kid who already wanted to go to college. He'd already been accepted to SDSU. He could have just gone there on his own, and but he decided, no, I do want to play. I was really passionate about football, but so we looked around and we talked to different coaches and schools, and he found one school that was perfect fit for him. But there's also like the gap of financial need for him. And that was one of his biggest concerns going into this whole process. And, but along the way, he's looked for the financial support, and like things like this are huge for him to be able to not only successfully finish school, but to give him the confidence. They give him the confidence, like, hey, I'm supported. I got everything I need. I'll be able to make it through.
I want to say thank you guys a lot, because it's showing kids like me and kids who deal with this like on a daily basis, and who's really their history and their past is built around this. And it shows us that even though we have these experiences, they're still going to give us an opportunity to go and learn from them and build on top of it. So it's not something to hold you back. Like I said, I'm not a victim. Whoever has the victim mindset is never going to be able to move forward from it. So I just want to say thank you. I'm really sorry I can't meet them, because I would really look them in the eye and be as sincere as I can with my soul and just say thank you. And I want to say thank you to you, because you've actually helped me out a lot through this process. And hopefully this video that I'm pretty sure we're making for them, they see how sincere and genuine I am and saying thank you, because this means everything to me.